So welcome you all for the online classes. So we are discussing the chapter wave optics. In that wave optics yesterday class we have completed theory of interference. There we have seen the condition for constructive interference. Okay Nara? For constructive interference, what are the conditions? Constructive interference. What is the meaning of constructive interference? You know that na? Resultant intensity value will be maximum. Before this you should know what is the formula for R. The resultant amplitude value will be given by the formula root over, so A1 square plus A2 square plus 2 into A1 into A2 into cos phi, where phi is the phase angle between the two interfering waves. For constructive interference, yesterday we have written already, cos phi value should be equal to plus 1, and cos phi value is equal to plus 1 means phi value should be equal to 2n pi. Whenever a phase difference between the two interfering waves will be equal to an integer multiple of 2 pi, so they will interfere constructively, then we will get intensity value maximum, and corresponding path reference x value is equal to n lambda. So this is the condition for phase difference. Okay Nara? And this is the condition for path reference. And here the value of n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, so and so. Correct Ara? Whenever for constructive interference R maximum will become, so A1 plus A2. Correct? And I maximum for constructive interference directly proportional to R maximum square. So I maximum is equal to K into R maximum square value. So A1 plus A2 whole square. This is for constructive interference. Now today we will continue for destructive interference. So destructive interference. When interference is said to be destructive? Whenever the superimposing waves, the phase difference between them, if cos phi value equal to minus 1, what should happen? Cos phi value equal to minus 1. So what is cos? Which value will be minus 1? Cos 0 value plus 1, cos 180 minus 1. So what I will get the answer? Pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, 7 pi, like so and so, which I can write 2n minus 1 into pi. 2n minus 1 into pi value, where n value starting with or otherwise, if I write n value starting with 0, 2n minus 1, if n value starting with 1, so what I will get the answer? That is 2n minus 1, otherwise I will write 2n plus 1, anyone I can write. Therefore, to get the constructive interference, the phase difference between the interfering waves should be equal to 2n plus 1 into pi. If it is an odd integer multiple of pi, then they will interfere destructively to get the resultant intensity value minimum. What is path reference? What is phase difference? It is not new for you. Already in first year waves chapter, you know what is path reference and what is phase difference. So what is the difference in the phase angles are called as the phase difference. What is the difference in the distance covered is called as path reference. Now what is the relation between the path reference and phase reference? Path difference, can I write represent with x, will be equal to lambda by 2 pi into phase difference. This is the relation between path reference and phase reference. Right Ara? From this, x value is equal to lambda divided by 2 pi into phase reference value, how much I got? 2n plus 1 into pi value I got. So 2n plus 1 into pi. Pi value cancel, then x value will be equal to, so 2n plus 1 into lambda divided by 2. This is the condition for phase difference, and here you have to write compulsory, where n value starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, so and so. Here also where the n value is starting with a 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 so on. Are you getting us, students? So whenever the phase difference between the two waves which are superimposing is either pi or 3 pi or 5 pi, the two waves will interfere destructively to get the resultant intensity value minimum. Or path difference between the two waves should be equal to an odd integer multiple of lambda by 2. Here this conditions you have to check properly. So these are the condition for maximum intensity. In constructive interference, intensity value is maximum. Intensity is maximum. Whereas in destructive interference, intensity is minimum. What happened to intensity? Intensity is minimum. So in order to get the intensity maximum, amplitude value maximum. In order to get the intensity value minimum, amplitude value minimum. These are the corresponding phase for maximum amplitude, corresponding phase for minimum amplitude. This is similar to that of parallelogram law. In parallelogram law, you know that R is equal to, if for example P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. The resultant of two vectors is R. The resultant vector magnitude value 2PQ cos theta. When R value maximum, R maximum is equal to P plus Q if theta is equal to 0. Two vectors are parallel. And R minimum value will be equal to P minus Q if theta is equal to 180. Can you remember this? Similarly, whenever two waves are superimposing, the resultant amplitude value maximum means that is called as constructive interference. If the resultant amplitude value minimum means that is called as destructive interference. Are you getting Ara? What is constructive interference and what is destructive interference? These two conditions can be asked separately for 2 marks. Write down the condition for constructive interference in terms of path reference or phase difference. Write down the condition for destructive interference in terms of path reference or phase difference. In constructive interference, so path reference value should be equal to an integer multiple of, so which one? 2 pi. This is phase reference, where the path reference value will be equal to an integer multiple of lambda. Whereas in destructive interference, the phase reference value should be equal to an odd integer. 2n plus 1 will give you a odd number. When I take n value 1, 0, so 2 into 0 plus 1, I will get 1. When I take n value 1, so I will get 2 plus 1, 3. When I take n value 2, I will get 4 plus 1, 5. So this 2n plus 1 will give you odd. An odd integer multiple of which one? Pi. That is the phase reference value. Whereas the path reference value will be equal to an odd integer multiple of lambda by 2. Are you getting Ara? So this is for constructive interference and destructive interference conditions. And here I will write whenever if cos phi value is minus 1, so what happened to R value? R value given by root over, so a1 square plus a2 square minus 2 into a1 into a2. So this is the minimum value of R. R minimum value given by, so here a1 minus a2 whole square I will get. Under root, square cancel. What is the value of R minimum? R minimum is a1 minus a2. So and what is the formula for I minimum? I minimum directly proportional to R minimum square. R minimum square. Therefore, can I write for destructive interference, I minimum value is a1 minus a2 whole square. Which one? a1 minus a2 whole square. K into, can I put K is a constant? K into a1 minus a2 whole square. So that is the value of minimum intensity and this is the value of maximum intensity. I maximum value is K into a1 plus a2 whole square. And I minimum value is K into a1 minus a2 whole square. Okay, Nara? Understood? These are the condition for constructive and destructive interference. If they ask, explain the theory of interference, you have to write till the condition for constructive interference and the condition for destructive interference. Okay, na? What is interference? The phenomena of non-uniform redistribution of light intensity in a region of superposition of two or more ways. So just I want to tell you one two note which is needed for doing so that NCERT problems. Actually the slit width will be there na. The intensity of light is directly proportional to so width of the slit. Width of slit. Yesterday we have seen generally in order to produce an interference we needed two sources are coherent sources. A single source which is derived from two sources which are derived from single source are called as coherent. So intensity of light intensity, the intensity of light is directly proportional to the width of the slit. So can I call I value directly proportional to which one? I value directly proportional to W. Therefore I1 by I2, where I1 is the intensity of light coming through first slit and I2 is the intensity of light coming through second slit, which is equal to W1 by W2. But intensity value directly proportional to amplitude. So A1 square divided by A2 square, where A1 is the amplitude of light coming through first slit and A2 is the amplitude of light coming through second slit. So A1 and A2 are the amplitudes, W and W2 are the slit width, and I1 and I2 are the intensities. After this, so just one more point I will tell you. Actually this interference is a consequence of law of conservation of energy. So consequence of, very important note, interference is a consequence of interference is a consequence of law of conservation of energy. So how it is a consequence of law of conservation of energy, just I will show you. What is I maximum value we got? I maximum is equal to K into A1 plus A2 whole square. And what is I minimum value we got? I minimum is equal to K into A1 minus A2 whole square. And what is the average intensity we will get? I average intensity is equal to I maximum plus I minimum divided by 2. So when I add, so what is I maximum? K into A1 plus A2 whole square plus K into A1 minus A2 whole square divided by 2. Correct? Actually here A1 square plus A2 square plus 2A1 A2 into cos theta 2A1 A2. Here A1 square plus A2 square minus 2 into A1 into A2 into cos theta. Correct? Here minus 2AB 2A1 A2, here minus 2A1 A2 cancel. I will get the answer 2 into K into, so A1 square plus A2 square divided by 2. I will get my final answer which is given by K into A1 square plus A2 square. Correct? This is the average intensity after superposition. For example, there is no superposition of light coming from S1 and coming from S2. The light is not superimposed. This light amplitude value A1, this light amplitude value A2, this intensity I1, this intensity I2. Now, what is the total intensity value? Total intensity, so I1 plus I2. Total intensity given by K into A1 square plus A2 square. See, if there is no superposition, what is the total intensity value? K into A1 plus A2 whole square, A1 square plus A2 square. If there is a superposition, what is the average intensity value? K into A1 square plus A2 square. What does it mean? There is no loss of intensity. Intensity not losing. So in superposition, in interference, what happen? So the intensity will be redistributing. At some places, intensity value is maximum. At some places, intensity value is minimum. That is only called as what? Interference. Interference is the phenomena of non-uniform redistribution of light intensity in a region of superposition of two or more ways. Understood, Ara? So this is regarding this point you should know. Many times can be asked. So they also asked. Interference is a consequence of which one? Law of conservation of energy. In interference there is no loss of energy, there is no gain of energy. But in interference what happens? Energy will be redistributed. So So what happened? That energy will be redistributed where the waves are interfere constructively, intensity is maximum, where the waves are interfere destructively and intensity is minimum. Correct, Ara? And one more important point here is, what is I maximum formula? I maximum is equal to A1 plus A2 whole square. And what is I minimum formula? I minimum is A1 minus A2 whole square. Correct, Ara? In some books they also will give you A plus B. Anyone you can take. If A1 is equal to A2, if the amplitude of two waves superimposing is equal, when A1 is equal to A2, what happened to I max? I maximum value, if A1 is equal to A2 is equal to A, then what I will get? A plus A whole square. So A plus A whole square means, which is 2 into A square, which is 2A whole square. That is nothing but 4 into A square. Can I write it as 4 into I naught? This is all needed. They won't give you in NCERT, but while discussing in NCERT problems, we will come to know all this. If I naught is the intensity of light from the each source, then the final intensity I maximum value, so I maximum value will be equal to 4 into I naught. Okay, Nara? Similarly, what happened to I minimum? I minimum value is given by A minus A whole square, which is of 0. So I minimum is equal to 0. Actually what happened, whenever the two waves are superimposing, if the amplitude of vibration value is same, the maximum, the brighter, maximum means brighter, 0 means, so minimum means dark. I told you one example where you will see this interference pattern. On the road, whenever oil is spread over, so you can see some colors in that oil. Whenever oil is spread over on the road, you can see some colors in that oil during sunlight. That colors are because of interference. There you can see only some colors. Which colors appearing, which satisfies the condition of constructive interference, they will appear. All colors you cannot able to see. Only few colors you can able to see. Which colors will satisfy the condition for constructive interference, you can see. Are you getting Ara? So whenever their amplitude value is seen, then bright bands will appear more bright and dark bands will appear completely 0. The intensity of dark will appear 0. Till now I discussed regarding the theory of interference. But how much if I told that theoretically all this also, no one will accept. In order to accept, we need to show visualization. We need to show experimentally. Experimentally, we need to show interference pattern. So that pattern was done by the scientist Young's double slit experiment. Young's double slit experiment. So very important experiment for us for 3 marks. So explain Young's double slit experiment. I told to you, actually this wave theory was given by the Huygens in the year 16th century only. But no one believed that waves theory because Newton was very famous. That's why everyone followed that corpuscular theory. Until experimentally the wave nature of light demonstrated by the scientist Thomas Young. So no one accepted that Huygens theory. Okay, Nara? So the first scientist who demonstrated experimentally interference pattern by the Thomas Young in the year 1801. So the name is Thomas Young. By experiment name double slit experiment. So shortcut is very important. YDSE. Even many times, every time you will not write the total name, you will write the shortcut only. So YDSE. Young's double slit experiment. So what Thomas Young has did? The interference experimental demonstration. On a screen, the color patterns are shown by this Thomas in the year 1801 by an experiment, Young's double slit experiment. Okay, Nara? Now let me go for this experimenter. So what are the apparatus and what is he observed? What this experimental setup will consist of? It consists of a narrow slit. One narrow slit will be there. One screen with a narrow hole. So this is called as narrow slit. Let me call this name is S. This narrow slit is illuminated by the light, illuminated with a monochromatic source of light. So here what is there? Monochromatic in the sense single wavelength source of light. This narrow slit is illuminated by monochromatic source of light. So in front of this narrow slit they taken another screen with two holes. So here one is there with two slits, and this is one slit and this is one slit. So this one can I call A and this one can I call B, and they kept he kept so this is slit, this is first screen, this is second screen, opaque screen with a narrow hole, opaque screen with two narrow holes. These two narrow holes are equidistant. These two narrow holes are symmetric with respect to this, such that so this second one is kept at a distance of 10 centimeters. The separation between the first slit, first screen and second screen is around of 10 centimeters. And the separation between A and B is very smaller, that is order of 0.5 mm. The separation between the two slits is very smaller, so that is order of 0.5 mm. After that, so he has considered one screen, photographic screen. That screen is kept far apart from this second slit. So obviously, and he has taken that screen at a distance of 2 meters from this AB. Can I call the first slit, first screen, first screen name is, first slit name is P, means this is one opaque material with a narrow hole. Are you getting it? So this is the experimental setup which is needed for Young's double slit experiment. First a screen with a narrow hole. Can I call this screen with a narrow hole? And one more screen with two narrow holes, A and B. And finally one more screen which is at a distance of 2 meters. But remember the conditions. A and B are symmetric with respect to S. Distance between A and B is very smaller, and the screen is placed very far apart from A and B. Now what happened? Since S is S is illuminated with a monochromatic source of light. Means what happened? It is an opaque material. It does not allow light to pass except through this hole. Through this narrow hole, light is coming out. Now according to the Huygens, light is a which wave? It is an electromagnetic, light is a transverse wave. So light is a which wave? Transverse wave. How does the light will propagate? So light will propagate in the form of which one? It will propagate in the form of transverse wave. Correct, Ara? In the form of wavefront. Now actually the S will act like a point source. Now due to the point source, the wavefront will be spherical wavefront or cylindrical. So spherical wavefront. Correct, Ara? Actually according to the Huygens also, light is a transverse wave. A transverse wave will propagate in the form of crust and trough. Now here how can I show the crust and trough? Here we are represented the thicker line with the crust and the dotted lines with the trough. Initially, so monochromatic light is illuminating the source. Now light is coming from what? S. Now what happened? That wavefront which is coming from where? S will incident on second screen. That second screen will having two narrow holes are there. Which one? A and B. The separation between A and B will be order of how much? That is order of 0.5 mm. It is very closer. That will be a very narrow. Now what happened? Now one of the wavefront will incident on this AB. According to Huygens principle, every point on the wavefront act like a secondary source. Now a wavefront will fall on this A and also B. Now what will happen? Obviously from A the light will be emitted. Light will be emitted in the form of crust and trough. Not only the light emitted from A, but also light will be emitted from where? B also. From B also light will be emitted. Finally, the light coming from where and where? A and B. So reaching where? A screen, which is kept at a distance of which one? Which is kept at a distance of 2 meters. But actually here I can show with the different colors. In regular class means we can show with the different colors. When I show with the different colors, then you can identify. Actually I am telling thinner, that a thick line will be indicating for crust. So and thin line for indicating for which one? Trough. If I write thicker one and thinner one, that dotted line, so this thicker line is indicating for crust and this thinner one is indicating for trough. Okay, Nara? Now, because of the superposition of light coming from A and B, so A and B will act like a coherent sources. Now, light coming from A and B is superimposing on where? A screen. So, on the screen at some particular position, here it is not that much cleared in diagram, but at some particular position what happen? So, there will be some different positions will be there. At some particular positions, light will be interfere constructively and light will be interfere destructively. There are some particular lines will be there. Can I call this is C, this is O and this is D. For example, at point C, if the light is, if the crust is fall over crust, a trough is fall over trough, then interference is said to be constructive. Whenever interference is said to be constructive, if I develop this photographic plate, here I will get a bright band. When I will get a bright band means the waves are superimposed in a such a way that the crust of the one wave is exactly follow over crust of the another wave. So here I will get, for example, one bright. Let me consider this is another point. So here for example dark and here again I got bright. But the condition is when I develop this photographic plate in place of that screen, so you can see the photographic plate. When you develop this photographic plate, so this is of bright for example, and this is of dark. In order to get the dark, what is the condition? The crust of the one wave should be fall over trough of the second wave. Then I will get even in diagram still it is not clear, but when you go through NCERT textbook or anything, still diagram will be more clear. There you can see still clearly at which point crust fall over crust, at which point trough fall over trough, at which point crust fall over trough or trough fall over crust. When crust will be fall over crust, will get bright band. When trough will be fall over trough also will get bright band. When crust fall over trough or trough fall over crust will get a dark band. So whenever bright band to get the interference should be constructive, to get the dark band the interference is destructive. Actually after allowing the light from A and B onto the screen, that screen he has taken the photographic plate. When he developed the photographic plate, he has seen some alternative bright and dark bands. That alternative bright and dark bands are he called interference fringes. What are that alternative bright and dark bands name? He called interference fringes. And what is the reason for that alternative bright and dark bands on the screen? So because of the interference of light coming from A and B. Whenever the light coming from A and B, so if they superimpose with each other, you will get alternative bright and dark bands on the screen. In this way, so Thomas Young demonstrated till the Thomas Young experiment. So no, there is no reason, because Huygens Thomas tried to explain the interference also, no one accepted. Then the first scientist who has given the demonstration for the interference experimentally, the Thomas Young only. So this experimental name is called as Young's double slit. Why called as the double slit? Here two slits are there. That two slits only acting like a, so which one? So they acting like a coherent sources. The light coming from A and B only is superimposing. Actually if there is any change in, so phase coming from S, there will be equal change in the light coming from A and B. So that's why the phase difference between the light coming from A and B will always remains 0. In order to get the interference, we know the phase difference should be either 0 or constant. So here phase value will be 0. That's why we will get a interference pattern. Are you getting Ara? So in this way, after this experiment, there will be many changes in the view of optics. That is, till that time, so everyone believed that light is a particle nature or corpuscles, tiny particles. But after this, now Huygens theory. So this was given the support to Huygens theory that light is a wave nature. Now according to the interference, light is a wave nature. The nature of wave nature was suggested by the scientist Huygens. Christian Huygens in the year 1620 only, but it is nearly 1801. So after these many gap, this much gap, this theory was came. Till this theory, it was accepted only Newton theory only. And finally, so this is the experimental demonstration for Young's double slit. Understood are this? What are the operators? A screen with a narrow slit, light is illuminated, why monochromatic I will come to know, and the two more slits, another screen with a two more slits which are equally spaced with respect to S, and finally one photographic plate. This is the experimental setup for Young's double slit experiment, OIDS. So in the next class, we will see the derivation for the fringe width. The separation between the two successive bright bands or two successive dark bands is called as fringe width. The derivation we will discuss. So this experiment you just go through, nothing is there in this experiment, just the experimentally we can able to view the experimental view of interference is given by this Thomson. Okay, so that's it for today class. We will continue tomorrow.